Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 366. Up in here. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here, man. It's awesome. And let me tell you this. I'm starting this week off because I really need tonight.
Yeah, man.
I really need my brothers. I really need some video game talk.
You got it.
And that's because this last week has been maybe the worst week of my whole life.
All right, start it off, man. Tell us.
If I was being completely honest.
Lay it on us, man. Lay it on us. That's what we're here for.
It was already just kind of a rough week last week. We had some health things going on. Milo was coughing and stuff like this. We record the show on Wednesday or like Tuesday night or something like that. Put it out for the patrons on Wednesday, Friday for everybody else. In between there, on Thursday, Jenny's dad passed away.
Oh, man.
My father-in-law. And it was out of no place. It's one of those things where like he wasn't the healthiest of guys.
Right.
But like he was just like unhealthy, like a really unhealthy American. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like drank soda every day, smoked a pack of cigarettes. And but his body's kind of always fought with him. And so what we've been saying to people is that we were shocked, but we weren't surprised. If that makes any sense. And you guys, oh man, that junk was heavy, man.
Yeah.
On a for real, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I know I'm making light of it now because we're doing the show and it's been like kind of a week removed, but like when that thing was going down last week, it was insane. I've never had anybody that close to me die yet in my life, which is weird. Like, and what I mean by that is like my grandmother did pass away on this show and that was really sad. But like my grandmother only saw like once or twice a year,
right?
Even though I loved her and we were, you know, quote unquote close.
Sure.
But I didn't see her that much. And then I went to a funeral last year of this lady named Sarah Gaines who like helped raise me, but I also hadn't seen her in like 15 years. Jenny's father-in-law we talk to all the time.
Right.
This was a man that came from down South Tennessee. And when you come from the South, there are things about interracial relationships that just don't fly around these parts.
Yep.
And he was raised to kind of like bend towards the like each stay with his own kind of thing. But he laid that down for me and Jenny.
Wow.
And it was a huge testament to like the Lord working on his heart and just like his whole outlook changing because he had kind of had that semi-belief. Not that he didn't have black friends, but like he kind of had that semi-belief most of his life.
Yep.
And so for him to change it for us and him to adopt me like as a son and teach me how to work on cars. Like if I had any problems with anything, I called Tony. Like it was just that was the thing. I was like, shoot, man, my radiator's leaking. Let me call Tony. Yeah. Oh man, I got to lay down this hardwood in my house. Let me call Tony. Because Tony lost his dad when he was like a teenager. And so he kind of had been the man of his house forever. And his mom was his girl. You know what I'm saying? And so like he was the man of the house. She was the mom. He had two little siblings that he kind of took care of that were like, I think the closest one to him was like 7 or 8 years behind him. And so he was just the man of the house. And so to watch Jenny lose her dad and I had to deliver the news.
Oh man.
It was it was the thing that nightmares are made of. You know what I mean?
I can imagine, man.
And so
how is your sweet wife doing?
She's doing better. She's got a great outlook on it. Kind of just like, this is God's plan. And like, there's something that we're, what can we learn from this? What testimonies and what, legacy is he is he leaving? Yeah. And all those things, he got to meet all his grandchildren and, he always just loved family and stuff like that. Funny enough, it just turns out that he like almost, as we found out at the funeral, cause y'all white people, y'all bury people quick. Black folks, we take like 2-3 weeks to bury people. This joker died on Thursday. They had the viewing on Saturday and the funeral on Sunday. And I was out of town and barely made it back for the funeral. I was so glad I did. But at the funeral, as people spoke, we heard like person after person was like, oh, I just talked to Tony on Monday. Oh, I just talked to Tony on Wednesday. Oh, I just talked to Tony on Tuesday. He had gotten in a fight with somebody else in the family. They had just reconciled that thing a couple days ago.
Wow.
And so it was just amazing that like, it just seemed, sometimes I look at God like, he's kind of doing the marionette thing and he's like, God is, and he's orchestrating and you're like, oh, thank you, God, that like he got to make it right with some of his family members before he checked out of this thing because, that would have been, if the last words you said to him was, no, forget you. And then he passes, then, that's hard to live with yourself with that. But
right.
But anyway, Jenny and him got to talk. He got to talk to his other daughter. He had just talked to his other son and daughter that morning. And so it looks like he went in his sleep, which is like just God. So, that to me, that's just God being gracious.
Yep. Yeah.
And so it's been since we recorded last week. It's been just an emotional roller coaster because you have this like these depths of sadness and then you have these heights of like getting with family and cracking up and telling stories about him because he was just such a clown. Like even at one of his daughters was speaking about him during the funeral and she said if he could have it his way, he would have the casket rigged so when you went up to look at him, he would pop up and sit up straight and then lay back down. Yeah. Because that's just who he was. He was a guy that always made you laugh. He was all about family, loved getting together, loved good food. And so, man, Tony Sowell, boy, I'm going to miss that dude. He really did adopt me and really took me in. And one of my favorite things I always told Jenny was I loved getting into a project with him because, like, say it was something on my car. I'd be like, hey, man, can you help me work on this thing? He'd be like, yeah. And then we would do it. And weuld always end up with like 3 bolts. Yeah. And we were like, well... I mean, it's put back together.
It's on there.
I guess these bolts weren't important. He was just that guy. So, Jenny is hitting Jenny in waves where some days she's okay. And then, in the morning, she'll be really sad or at night, she'll be really sad. And so it's a hard thing. And, he was only 56 years old. And so he was a young man. And, it was his time, man. And so, It's been a rough one, but I'm so glad to be talking to you guys. I've been watching Ed's streams just to try to lift my spirits and seeing him so enjoy Borderlands and him tell stories about Sarah and them playing it together and stuff like that. So all these little things, and gaming's been a huge thing actually lately. That's kind of I don't usually, because of my personality, I don't usually use gaming as escapism. Yeah. It's usually like for fun. It's not like I got to get out of here and get away. Let me get into some games, which I know some people are like that, and gaming is great for that. But this week has been like, oh man, let me just play some Astral Chains, or oh man, let me just play some. Me and Ed almost played some Overwatch tonight. Oh, let me just play some Apex with Chris and get on there, and me and Chris can crack up and kind of take my mind off things. I got a couple calls about some interviews that might be coming up on the show that kind of like really helped me out. That was this week. I got more good news about like some gaming stuff just tonight, and so that I don't know if I can talk about yet. I'll holler at you guys next week about that one. I'll holler at you guys next week about that one. I don't know. That's a little carrot on a stick. So, anyway, man, Tony Sowell, boy, he changed the way he lived to be a better father-in-law and better papa to our kids, and he's going to be sorely missed. So that has literally been it. Yeah, I went to Ohio this week, and I was going to meet up with the Lighties, and I had to send him a text. I was like, man, I've been up all night. I'm like, my emotions are just shot. I don't think I could do today. And so I laid low and I went up there. Didn't do no roller coasters or anything like that. I did get to meet, just because he was backstage, a comedian named John Christ, who was performing the same night. And
oh, nice.
It was cool talking to a comedian. I love comedy, and so to sit and talk with him for a second was really cool. And he had a buddy that came to the show named Jason Day. I think his name was Jason Day, and he's a PGA Tour golfer, and Toby was flipping out. He didn't really flip out, but like was excited to meet him. Yeah. And so it was cool to see Toby geek out, because Toby doesn't ever geek out, because Toby's usually the guy that people are geeking out about.
Exactly.
Right.
And so to watch Toby Speaking of, Toby was gracious enough that he came to Tony's funeral.
Oh, that's great.
And which is an hour away from where we live. Wow. And we didn't know that he was coming for sure. We just kind of turned around, and your heart just kind of fills up because you're like, oh, my people. Because I don't know anybody else there. Mm-hmm. But we were joking around. We were like, Tony's probably in heaven. Like, hey, how many of y'all had Toby Mac come to y'all's funeral? Yeah, that's what I'm talking. There's like just 3 of us up here. Jeez, Toby Mac's at my funeral. Y'all need to take note. And so that's the kind of guy Tony was.
That's awesome.
So anyway, so that's been life. Like I said, been playing a little Astral Chains on the Switch. Really liking it, actually. Yeah. It's a really, really cool game. The art style is really cool. I wouldn't want to compare it to Borderlands, but it does have those thick black lines kind of thing, comic book look to it. And it looks great on the Switch, at least handheld. I ain't played it on the TV yet.
Yeah, right.
Because every time I play a game on the TV, I'm like, this don't look that good.
but then it's in 1080p.
Yeah, it is. But when you're looking at it on a 4K screen, it's like, So, I've been doing that, and then got in a little Apex. Me and Chris were having the hardest time the other night playing, and Chris it felt like he got off early. It was like 10 o'clock. He was like, I'm gonna get up out of here. I was like, okay.
No. Dude, I have not been sleeping, and I was like, I've been working on some other things, and I was like, doggone it, man, this is not helping me. It's like, maybe I need to go to bed. We were having a heck of a time.
Yeah, we were. And so Chris signs off, and I had to do a daily, challenge or whatever. And so I played they have a version right now where it's just shotguns and snipers. And the next game I won. I was like, doggone it, Chris.
Nice. That's the way it goes, man.
Then I played 2 more, then won another one. I was like, oh, dog, where's Chris at?
Man, sometimes you just gotta reset. And I don't know if the algorithm finds, okay, now we get the crappy guys for him because he's lost a person. Right. I don't know what it is, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Exactly.
So gaming really came to my rescue this week. And thank you guys. I let these guys in on what was going on. And the lighties, thanks for being so gracious with me. The biggest bummer of all of it was that Chris McCracken was in my state. He was in Memphis. He's halfway to me. He's driving up, and I had to call him. I was like, dude, I called him before I even saw Jenny. I got the phone call that Tony had passed, and I was like, and they were like, you have to go tell Jenny, but you have to go to her. Don't call her. Go to her. And I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So on my way there, I called Chris, and he's like, hey. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to say this, but tonight's not going to work out.
The crazy thing, man, I just knew. I didn't know that. But because I had called you when I was on the way, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to handle some stuff, go run some errands with the kids. And so we get all this wrapped up and all this stuff taken care of so that when you get here, it'll just be you hanging out. I had made arrangements. I was going to stay the night and then head back the next day. I was like,
I'd washed the sheets from the bed and everything. It was
and then I'm like a little over halfway there, and I see it pops up Gabe Patillo, and I'm like, just something told me is like, this isn't going to be a good call. Because I wasn't expecting it, and it's something. But, then I'm like, whatever, Chris, this is going to be amazing. And I'm like, what up? And then immediately, dude, your voice, man. I was just like, oh, I know. And I don't remember the exact cadence of the way that it went, because clearly you were shocked as you should be with the news. But so I don't remember if you mentioned it first or I did, or we were kind of stepping on each other. But immediately I'm just like, well, I'm turning around. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to go there, and it definitely doesn't make sense now. And that's just not what needs to happen. So I turned back around, drove back to Memphis.
Wait, what am I, chopped liver over here? I live here too.
Yes, but you see, the thing about that is that I had actually called you, and you were like, "I know, Piper's got strep," and I was like, I'm not gonna go hang out with a strep.
No, exactly. No, it was. I'm just totally.
Yeah, the whole Router household was sick.
I did.
No, just one of them.
I did message him. I was like, "Hey,
yeah, you did, and you were awesome too."
Do you know, what's the legit odds that I could come out there and maybe see you guys like, it's like, well, Piper's got strep. I'm like, say no more.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going back to Memphis.
We're like, well, we just found out Piper's got strep. See ya.
Yeah, because that, with everything that I have been dealing with, which has not been to Gabe's level, it's like, last thing I need to do is get sick while I'm trying to go on interviews and stuff. I'm like, I'm really good at doing this.
When you texted me, I'm like, yeah, Chris ain't gonna like this either. So I'll just, hey dude, she's got strep. Don't come near us. You're fine. Go.
So both of my plans to be in
That's
Nashville on Thursday and then part of Friday got, because
upended.
that's the way that the world goes and stuff happens.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right. So I go back to the hotel, and so part of the thing that worked out really great was that Stacy is working in Memphis. That's, what she's there for. So I can see her in the evenings, but Thursday night she went in late and was going to stay late because they were doing some stuff there. So she wasn't going to be home till, I don't know, 11 or maybe a little bit later, something like that.
Oh, poor Chris.
So I go back to the hotel and it's like, well, I'm just hanging out in the hotel. I don't really know Memphis. And yes, I can go around town and just look around and stuff, but it's like, I don't really want to just wander aimlessly for no reason. So it's like, I'll just go back. I'll take it easy at the hotel. And then Friday I'll figure something out. And she's got to work all day on Friday. And I'm like, shoot, I really seriously thought about, and I even told Stacy this. I was like, I should probably just get in the car early Friday and just leave, just go home. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, part of the trip was the experiment of going on a road trip, so to speak, by myself. And I did that. So it's not like the trip was for naught. It was still a fun time to have that experience. And then the times that I did get to see Stacy up until that point, and of course, coming and seeing you guys didn't work out for very serious reasons. But I was like, I was chatting with her when she did get home on Thursday, and she's like, just stay here. And she's like, I'm probably only have to work like a half day on Saturday. And then she flies home on Sunday. And so I'm like, all right. So I stay Friday. And then most of the time I'm just in the hotel. Good thing I took my Vita because I made a lot of headway on Metal Gear Solid and Runner 2. Been playing some more of that.
Nice.
So that's what I honestly
As you were driving down the road?
No, I did it in the hotel. Yeah. Don't think I didn't think about it.
He's got his knees on the steering wheel just going.
I told Chris, I was like, were you like, Siri, drive me to Nashville? You're like just sitting back and playing freaking Vita.
I did have Indie Game the movie playing.
Hey, there you go.
That's awesome.
While I was riding, so to speak. I had my hand on the wheel, but I'm just saying, I didn't have to pay full attention because the car was doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
So I chatted with her and she's like, just stay till Saturday. And then we came to it kind of worked out to where Stacy was going to be able to leave on Saturday. So we just she drove back with me rather than she canceled her flight. And so we drove back on Saturday.
Good.
So the trip was, it really was a pretty easy trip. Driving with the electric car was not nearly as stressful as I thought it would be.
Good.
Good. How much did it drive and how much did you drive?
I would say I used autopilot at least 60% of the time.
Wow. Ooh, wow.
And what I will say is on the
Kit,
going from Dallas to the Nashville, Memphis and Nashville, that area, like most of it's on Highway 40, I believe.
Yes.
And a lot of Highway 40 is 2 lanes for my side and 2 lanes on the other side of the median for the other side. Those are the best types of roads to use autopilot on. When you're on like a 5-lane highway or 4-lane highway, especially if you're navigating with autopilot, which is a different mode, it's constantly wanting to change lanes and move and merge and do all the stuff. And that can be a little bit of a hassle. Sometimes I'll just be like, nah, I'll just do it. So on anytime I got to those types of highways, I was pretty much in control. But there's long stretches where it's just 2-lane highway and I'm just rolling. And I'm like, all right, you do your thing, car.
Nice.
It was nice. It definitely kept it relaxed. It's weird because, when I drive on long trips, I'll use cruise control. And you feel like, okay, I'm not having to, I can kind of relax a little bit. Obviously, I'm still paying attention. But just having autopilot, it's like I'm not paying attention, but it does really like ease I didn't feel nearly as worn out.
Nice.
Once I got there.
Nice.
So that was really nice. Outside of that, this week, just been working on some other things job front wise. Things are still just in the works. I don't really have any concrete details on anything, so I don't have any real big update, but some things are moving in some positive directions, so hopefully that leads to something.
Good, man.
As I mentioned before, gaming front, played a lot of Metal Gear Solid and Runner 2 on the Vita. Did play a little bit of Apex with Gabe the other night and then a little bit tonight before recording. And I did jump into a little tiny bit of Overwatch. They have a new I don't know, limited time event where they have you can get a Bastion skin if you have so many wins out of like 2 weeks or something like that. So I did jump in and play a little bit. Haven't gotten a single win towards the ones that I need to have yet.
I feel you.
But I'll definitely be jumping back in there because it's a limited time event, and I want to make sure it's basically a free skin. I mean, you've got to get the wins, but you don't have to purchase any coins or anything like that. So I'm definitely going to be jumping back into Overwatch this coming week. Or the rest of this week and then next week to make sure that I can get it before the event is over. But
it's a skin and an icon, I think. I think those are the two rewards.
Yeah, there's some other sprays, and then there's something tied in with the event as well. Ed probably knows a little bit more about this, but I think also if you watch certain streamers, you get some sprays or icons or something like that. I always forget about the watch the streamer part. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't get that thing. But I usually get I think it's 9 wins you need to get. And then you get, at the end of the 9th win, you get the skin. And then along there, you get like icons or sprays or whatever.
Is it specific streamers, or is it like if somebody's streaming Overwatch, you can just watch
specific people?
It's specific streamers.
Yeah.
Boo, Ed, I wanted you to be able to do it on
exactly. It'd be nice.
No Work Friday, and we can all get it.
Overwatch.
I know, right?
Eduardo, come on now. Maybe I can petition at Play Overwatch. We should all do that and be like, make Ed one of the streamers.
There you go.
To get a spray.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and we should say too, it's correct me, Ed, since we're just talking about Ed streaming real quick. Number one, watch his Twitch channel. It's awesome. It's every day, roughly between 12 and 4 Central Time, 1 and 5 Eastern, something like that. And then I think it's September. Yeah, I think like Subway is somehow tied in with this, but subbing to a channel is half price. Is that right, Ed?
Yes.
Something
the
along
first
those
month
lines?
is half off. Yep.
First month is half off.
If you're a first-time subscriber to that channel.
Yeah, and if you gift it, I think those are half price as well.
Yep.
So go
not
subscribe to Ed's channel and get your fix on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Get your coffee cup emotes.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm about to get that whisk because I've been coming up on a year, baby.
Get that little whisk.
Nice.
Yeah, baby, stir it up. Beat that egg.
That is it on my update, good sirs.
Oh, Tim.
Man, how do you top all this? This is all gold right here.
Yeah,
Well, I'll add a little insult
with
to injury.
strep throat.
Yeah, Piper got strep throat on Thursday. She woke up like 1 o'clock in the morning and just was burning up. And
it's the
and we were
worst.
like, oh man, and like we looked in her throat and it's red, and we're like, okay, well, so I got up early, called the doctor, got her in. They did a throat culture, which she hates. I had to like hold her down.
That thing is the worst. You got to hold me down when I get those things done.
I'm glad it was strep because you could get the amoxicillin, and boom, we're ready to go. So she didn't go to school on Thursday, and because she still had a fever late in the day Thursday, they want you to be 24 hours fever free. So she didn't go in on Friday, even though by like 10 a.m. on Friday she's doing cartwheels in the living room and feeling completely fine. It's just like, daggone it, you could have gone to school. But she was able to go to cheer that night because she had 24 hours of antibiotics as well. So that was a fun little adventure. And on
Something
top
like that.
Yeah, on top of that, we had our garage sale this weekend.
How'd that go?
So it went really well. It was hot. Super hot.
It was, baby.
Because they did it on Friday and Saturday, but they did Friday from 4 till like 7 in the evening, and that's kind of for more like West Haven residents if they want to come around and look. And then the official garage sale was Saturday from 7:30 in the morning till noon. And I got up early because I knew exactly what was going to happen, and so I got up at 6. I sold like my first thing at an hour before it was supposed to start anyway. People were driving around at 6:30 in the morning.
Nice.
And it was great to be able to purge and sell some stuff, and we made it out pretty well. And then everything else we just donated. So my garage is like nice and clean now, and
Nice.
There you go.
I feel so much. That was one of those things on my list of things to do that I was just like dreading, and we just tackled it right before this garage sale, and now it's awesome. So we're good to go there. So Piper has her first cheer competition this weekend. She's excited and nervous for that. Don't know if I'm going to be excited at all. But it'll be it's on Saturday morning, and like they have been practicing hardcore, and they are hardcore about attendance too. Like if you miss 3 practices, you're basically off the team. That's how this is.
What?
Wow.
It's
Jeez.
crazy. And so a lot of parents are like, hey, they're young and we're not winning any World Cups here. Can we like back off a little bit? And so there's been a lot of back and forth, but like Piper was
We had strep.
Exactly. Even Piper was freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss cheer on Friday, aren't I? And she's kind of like freaking. I'm like, no, you'll be okay. You can still go. And
Tim is all happy and like, yes, you are.
yes, yes, you will. But no, I'm excited for her, and they've been working really hard. And she just, it's just awesome to see her. She's just gravitated to this, and like she comes home, and like everything is a cheer move to her now. So it's hilarious, and like she just grabs a mat and starts doing like back walkovers and like cartwheels, and she just loves it.
Yep.
So it's like I love when I think she's found her thing, and that's I love that. I love that for her, and it's great. So yeah, so we have a soccer game this weekend, but we're not going to be there. And there's 2 other girls on our soccer team that are part of her cheer team, and so they're not going to be there either. So I told Dave, our coach, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be there. Good luck in the heat. I'll see you later.
Seriously.
But yeah, so that's happening. And then preseason Predators hockey is back. We have like 15 days until opening of the actual season. But we're all going as a family to a Saturday night preseason game against the Lightning. And so Piper's super excited. It would be nice to go back to Bridgestone. They've done all kinds of upgrades, including the Jumbotron, which is amazing. It's like this new, incredible LED Jumbotron. They have all kinds of new food now. Man, Bridgestone is really where it's at. And they do it right when it comes to hockey games. I saw it on their Instagram feed. They have all kinds of nice little goodies and snacks to have now. So it'll be fun. I love doing this stuff with Piper, and Lauren's coming too, so that'll be a lot of fun, and we'll just have a really good time. On the gaming front, a little bit more of Overwatch. I think after the Bastion and this little event, I think I'm going to back off a little bit because I got Borderlands 3 now. I got my copy. It's ready to go, and so I'm going to probably start that probably tomorrow and get going on some Borderlands.
Nice.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I played a little bit of some Borderlands 2 this past week, but it's really just been a lot of Overwatch. I just keep playing that game, man. It just keeps calling me.
Are you still McCreeing it up?
No, man, I'm switching it up quite a bit. Like on the roll queues, if I'm tank, I go Roadhog, which I've really enjoyed. If I'm damage, I will do Junkrat. I've been Junkratting it up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm support, it's Moira all the way. So
very nice.
Those are kind of like my 3 go-tos. And during the skirmishes, I McCree it up a little bit. And I've been doing some of because you can get your loots. I've been doing the classic competitive play just because it's a quicker game typically. So if I have just a few like 30 or 45 minutes, I'll play more of those versus actual competitive game because you've got to go through round 1 and then switch sides and blah blah blah. But the classic competitive the classic quick play is the way to go for a nice quick little thing. And if I can win and get closer to my loot boxes, I will. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, it's fun. So I'm really looking forward to Borderlands. Like it's been a long time since I remember playing, before playing Borderlands 2 recently. It has just been a very long time. I've always loved that entire franchise, and so I'm super excited to dive into this, and especially since my boy Eduardo is all in with it. It's making me even more excited with it, so I can't wait to get going on it. And that is it for me.
Nice. Well, Edward, the man that showed up in everybody's weekend update.
Yes,
right.
What's been going down with you, bruv?
We have had a busy week. We spent the weekend doing a lot of family things. We had like a sort of a mini family reunion. Just a lot of family-oriented stuff, which was really, really, really nice.
Nice.
And it's kind of that, you live 2 miles from me. Why don't we see more often? A lot of that,
But is it more guilt of, hey, why don't we see you more often? Or we really should see you more often?
It was the
That's
second
a good
one.
question.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
As long as they're not guilting you into it, then I think you're all right. Okay, good.
It was a really, really, really nice time. I played a little bit more Gears 5 last week. Really, really enjoying it. Because I stream directly from the Xbox using the Twitch app, I started to run into some technical problems. as I was streaming, and the game sound would begin to cut out. My mic was fine, but the game would cut out. And then finally, on my final day of streaming it, there was zero game sound the entire time. 40 minutes in, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop the stream and we'll play something else. And I talked to another person who said that they tried to stream from the Twitch app and they got a thing actually saying this game isn't able to be streamed.
What?
I doubt. Try to push everybody to that old Mixer.
I was just going to say, I doubt Mixer people are having that problem.
Yeah.
Or if you stream via your PC and you have your Xbox hooked up, you're probably fine. But so that was a bit of a bummer. So I just decided, you know what? I'll put Gears 5 to the side. Sarah and I were playing through Gears 1. We finished it. We started Gears 2.
Oh, wow.
And when we get to it, we'll get to Gears 5, and then I'll finish playing it, and it'll be fun. I was still loving the game, really enjoying it. A lot of fun, a great story, great mechanics, but that the technical issues kind of made me say, you know what, I'll just wait then to play this off stream with Sarah.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So I saw that your page got a whole revamp with the coffee cups and new links and everything like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of trying to go the OBS route?
No, just because I'd have to set because the consoles are down in the living room.
Okay.
Having to get everything hooked up and unhooked up and all of that every time.
I got you.
Just be because really the only computer I have is my laptop, so I take it upstairs to do auditions, and then downstairs.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I at some point, probably when the new consoles come out, I'll probably either take those upstairs and try OBS, or the current ones upstairs and do something with that. But yeah, until then, unfortunately, not.
It's all good. Yeah. I don't think you could tell a difference. I've seen you do both. And maybe the camera looks a little different in the as far as the aspect ratio.
Yep.
But I think that it's always streamed really good. I just know that you're one of those guys that when you do get into, I almost can't wait for you to get into OBS.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna dive so deep, and because you like being involved with who you're talking to and everything like that. I think you're gonna have it looking awesome. There's just so many options.
Yes.
That are here. That are
there's so much I want to do.
OBS.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I can see you doing that.
Yeah.
Like when somebody subscribes, a little coffee cup coming up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
I have to get Gabe to recreate the Maxwell House song for me. Yes.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I've kind of re-fallen in love. Not that I ever fell out of love, but this week at least, the show has been replaced by Wolfenstein Youngblood, and I just love picking that up. And I was watching someone play Doom today, and I realized I really like that fast pace of Doom, and Wolfenstein's got that. And
yes.
I just love that running. In most games, I kind of hold back. I'm a sniper. Maybe I can, kind of ease my way in. With this game, I just run right in, guns blazing, go to town. And so that's been a lot of fun just to pick up. You can play a mission pretty quickly and do that.
Nice.
But of course, another reason that I won't be playing Gears 5 for a while is that Borderlands 3 dropped. And we were, it's been, all this weekend, we've been doing family things. And I love that at some point during every family thing, Sarah would turn to me and say, I can't wait for coffee and Borderlands.
Nice.
I love that that's you guys' version of Netflix and chill.
Exactly.
It's coffee and Borderlands.
Yeah. It's great. For us, it was a little bit of a bummer to find out that in this iteration, you can't change it from vertical to horizontal split screen co-op.
You can or can't?
You cannot. No. So in every other iteration, we would always have it split vertically. And in this
vertically?
One,
Oh, really?
Mostly because when you look at items, if you look at a gun you might want to pick up, a little beam of light shoots up from it with the description.
Yeah. Right.
When it's horizontal, you have to look at the gun and then look up.
Yeah, look up. Yeah, that's a good
interesting.
Point. Good point.
Also,
I've always wanted to change it because Mario Kart is vertical. And I always wish it was horizontal because I was like, I can't see the turns coming.
Yeah. We prefer Mario Kart horizontal. But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want it horizontal, but it's vertical, I think, on the Switch.
Oh,
okay.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like playing Mario Kart vertical.
No,
Yeah, that would
me
mess
either.
me up.
But with Borderlands and even with the menus and stuff like that, it's just a lot easier to see when it's
Gotcha, that
when
makes
it's
sense.
vertical. That was the biggest bummer for us, just because it didn't have the option to change.
In Borderlands 2 and other ones, did it give you the option to change it around?
I know at least one of them had the option because it started off as horizontal and we switched to vertical. I don't know if they are both like that where you can, but they are both vertical split. That we definitely played it vertically. And by the way, Gabe, to answer your question, I tried it out. I looked it up on Gears 5. You can turn off the camera shake. And I had mentioned
that's for me and McCracken.
Yeah, I had
Nice.
mentioned I didn't even notice it. And when I turned it off, I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, see? I told you, man. I literally don't know a single person who's like, oh yeah, the shake's way better. Like, why? I don't
know.
Yeah.
It
It's
just
not
creates
realism, it's
gravity to the.
annoyance, is what it is.
It creates gravity to the run. Like I get it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can make your character feel like heavy, like they're stomping, without the screen going. Gong, 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 gong.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think the one that did that really good was The Division. I feel like when
Yeah.
you ran in The Division, you felt heavy. You were like, chicon, and it
Yeah,
didn't
you
have
felt
the
that
camera
weight.
shake. Like,
Another
yeah.
game that felt really heavy that worked out really well too was Killzone 3 on PlayStation 3. That game, you just felt heavy when you'd run around,
I don't think I played that one.
Yeah. I hadn't either.
but it didn't have the screen shake that I remember, anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize how nice it was until I turned it off. Like I say, I didn't even notice it on. But as soon as I turned it off, man, that just felt
You're
good.
You're like, I'm not going back to that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There are a couple new mechanics in Borderlands 3 that are really, 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 really nice.
You guys have the ping system now, right?
There's a ping system. They've implemented a fast travel.
Thank God.
You can actually
Did they not have a fast travel before?
no.
thought they did.
It was really just in playing Borderlands 2 right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go all the way back here right now. I can't. It's so frustrating.
You can't fast travel to any point. It's basically usually any point where you enter the world. You can fast travel back to that from anywhere, or you can
Right.
fast travel to your car wherever it is.
Right.
And that's kind of nice.
Okay.
They've also added you can climb up things. It's really nice. It's very, very, very nice. They do a really good job with that. And one thing that I've really enjoyed is they have an in-game email system where you can email your friends the guns you don't want.
Oh, that's great.
Or a gun they would want.
Or a gun.
That's not how Ed uses it. But
Well, see, and what I
it
do
could be
is
that.
whatever level I'm at, when I'm sending a gun to a friend, I say they should be lower than me so it's something they can actually use.
Okay.
And then today I said, I was going back to the very first world and said, I'm going to do a little bit of collecting and see if I can't get everything on this map before I continue on. So it's a very low level. It's the very first place you enter. And I found a gun, a level 1 gun. And I said, I'm going to send this to Frankie. So
Nice.
I sent it to him, and he immediately sent it back to me.
So that's still their system, yeah, where the guns last like a level or two and then it's trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's nice now because I used to look at how much damage the gun did, and that's the only number I looked at. I didn't care
me
about
too.
reload. Now they take all of those into consideration and they give everything a score so you can judge it by that. And that's now what I use. It's very,
Oh.
very nice.
That's easier. I like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
less like I feel like you get like overload with the weapons sometimes, and I'm like, okay, what's the damage? All right, well that's a little bit less damage, but it's better rate, and you're like, you kind of get too deep into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I like that. That's cool.
It's nice. We've just been having so much fun. I've got a different character that I'm playing on stream that I'm playing with Sarah. So I'm kind of playing 2 different characters, 2 different games. I love them both. I'm playing Flack the Beastmaster and Zane. And, the other night,
Sweet.
Sarah and I were playing and she looked at the clock and she said, oh my gosh, it's 4:30 in the morning.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy.
Lord.
And the next night it was like, oh my goodness, it's 2:30, and it's just, it's a
Yeah.
game that when I was streaming it the first day, I was like, oh man, I've got to take a bathroom break. I don't want to take a break already. It's only been like...
You gotta take a bath.
I know, right? Got to
Room break.
myself off. It's like, it's only been 20 minutes. I don't want to stop right now. It had been an hour and 44 minutes. And it's just a game that's so easy to get lost in. It's been so much fun I've played with Frankie today. Some other people needed help to beat a boss. Frankie and I jumped in, helped beat the boss with him. And
that was fun.
Out.
Yeah, you and Josh. Yep.
And it was really nice. And also they've got a system where if you do that and you play a mission that's way ahead of you, if you're back in your own story and you get to that point, it says, hey, do you want to skip this or do you want to play it? And so they give you that option, which is nice. So, it's been really cool. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. It's a fun story. It's a different enemy that you're up against, but it's fun. It's Borderlands. I like it. I've been having a blast. So
it's all different. It's different classes now too, right? Or are they all kind of the same? Like I saw the characters. I'm like, it looks a little bit like Berserker. That looks a little like Commando, but they're not the same, right?
The only one that's kind of the same is Amara, the Siren.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop. I mean, not that I want my daughter to be a siren, but I'm just glad that.
No, we got you.
Amara in there.
But the others, but she has also got different powers you can choose from, and the others are all completely different.
That's cool.
Brand new. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'll send you some guns tonight, Tim.
Oh,
now that I know you're going to hop in.
Note to self: remove emails from Ed, or send immediately back to Ed.
Yes,
that's amazing. Ed, is that all you got?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Tim,
yes,
you got it.
I got it, man.
Well, let's do it.
All right, new releases this week. We've got AI, the Somnium Files for the PC, PS4, and Switch.
So what now?
The Somnium, Somnium, Somnium
Nice.
Files.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's a word we use on the regular. Mm-hmm.
Everybody get on the bus. We got Bus Simulator for the PS4 and Xbox One. No yelling on the bus!
Yeah, exactly.
Castle Crashers Remastered for the Switch. Groundhog Day Like Father Like Son for the PC VR and PSVR. If you got EA Access, you get early access to FIFA 20 this week on the 19th. Truck Driver PS4, Xbox One.
Bus driver, truck driver.
Yeah, Bus Simulator, Truck Driver. We got a theme going.
I like it.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Switch. Lego Jurassic World for the Switch. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch for the Switch.
That's a good game.
There you go. And Ni no Kuni Remastered Wrath of the White Witch is coming out on
Ni no
PC and
Kuni
PS4.
was an exclusive game. I guess. I mean, clearly not. Is it on Xbox as well?
It still says no on Xbox. It says PC and PS4.
It was a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Did you say Ni no Kuni for the Switch and then Ni no Kuni remastered for the Switch?
Yeah. No, it's Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch for the Switch. Ni no Kuni Remastered Wrath of the White Witch for PC and PS4. Both coming out September. Both coming out September 20th.
Yeah, because the first Ni no Kuni was on PS3, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the Ni no Kuni on the Switch is the remastered version.
Yeah, it didn't say, but they have it's separate SKUs for each. So
I really liked that game. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I beat that game.
nice. Nice. Two more. We got Platoon's Party for the Switch and The Sojourn for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
The Sojourn.
That's right. We do have MPD for August, ladies and gents.
Billions.
And not even close. August 2019, spending across video game hardware, software, accessories totaled $666 million, falling 18% compared to last year. Basically, MPD confirmed that this was the worst August in terms of software sales in more than 20 years. Why? Because there were really no new releases in August. So here we go. Top 10 games. Number 10, Astral Chain. Number 9, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Number 8, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 6, Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh, really?
Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 4, Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Nintendo, boy.
Yeah, all up in there. Number 3, GTA 5.
At number 3?
Yeah, ready for this one? Number 2, freaking Minecraft. Comes back to number 2, and number 1, Madden NFL 20. So you can probably tell that the list was not a great month for software sales because Minecraft, a 10-year-old game, was the second best seller of the month.
I mean, right?
So August really, technically, I think Madden came in toward the tail end of July and might have gotten in that early August week. But August had no new releases that really made a dent for anything. So that's pretty much why August sales were terrible. On the hardware front, man, Nintendo Switch was again the best-selling hardware platform of August and remains the best-selling platform of 2019 and has also had sales gains both in August as well as year to date. So every month this year, they've had sales gains. And
that's crazy.
That's great for them. So
it helped that the better battery life one probably came out. They're gonna have another bump in the light switch. The one in the red, not with the hand on it. No. Don't buy the one with the hand on it.
Don't do
it. It also helps that we have dying generations of PlayStation and Microsoft too.
And the light switch. I don't know how well.
And the light switch
is actually out right now. You can buy it, yeah? Or is it not dropped yet?
I don't think it's out yet.
I don't think it's out yet.
But the new better battery life switch is out. You
that
can
one's
purchase
out.
That. Okay.
Yes, and you can accidentally purchase the old one. Don't do that.
Red box, no hand.
Red box, no hand.
There you go. Okay. That is it for me, gentlemen. Back to you.
Ooh wee.
Ooh wee.
Chris McCracken.
Speaking of things that hadn't really done all that great, do you guys remember Discord's Nitro Games library?
Nope.
Yeah,
nope.
Nobody else does either.
Yeah.
Hey, Discord announced that they're removing the Nitro game library from their Nitro subscription service because nobody uses it.
Yeah, which is terrible. I thought because we talked about on this show, Discord having a storefront. Is that what this is?
Yes.
Yeah. But what's the subscription service?
Well,
that's what was confusing
Nitro,
to me.
Nitro is a subscription service that they have where you can get like bigger stuff that's upload. You can have more space in your server, different things like that. That's part of Nitro, and they added to it about a year ago the game catalog. It kind of like a Game Pass in a way, where okay, you subscribe to this service, you also get access to these games, and there's going to be like a library of games, and they'll add more and whatnot. But we're on the eve of the 1 year anniversary, and they're like, we learned a lot from all of you over the last year, and through your valuable feedback, it became clear that you guys don't play these games. So
is it that they don't play the games, or that they don't buy the games from them?
My understanding is that the Nitro game, the part that's part of the Nitro subscription, is you just get access to the games. Like you don't have to buy them on top of that. They're part of the subscription service. Now, I think you can still buy games from through Discord's storefront. That's just you're not subscribed to it.
So that's not going away.
Yeah,
the storefront's not going away.
The storefront is still there, and you can still buy games from it. It's just that the games being lumped in as part of the subscription and giving you access to the games, that part's going away.
I was so confused because when I was looking at the story, I was like, I didn't even know this existed. I didn't know there was a subscription in the first place.
Look, I mean, I have known there's been this Nitro subscription for a while. I still don't really fully understand, like, why are people buying a Nitro? I mean, I'm sure there's a valuable reason. I'm sure there's something great about it, but it's not been anything.
Apparently there's not something great about it.
Well, not so much the game part, but I'm just talking about Nitro in general, like all the, quote, benefits that you get for just Discord use. It's like, man, I'm good with the free Discord. I'm cool with that. I don't really I don't need this Nitro thing, and apparently nobody needs the Nitro game library either to be part of it. It's not enticing enough. So if you would like to cancel your subscription because the game library is what you subscribe to Nitro for, you have until October 15th to play your heart out. And if you want to cancel your subscription early because they're removing that, you just contact the company and they'll give you a refund for your time that's left on your subscription. So there you go. RIP Nitro Games Catalog as part of the Nitro subscription.
Yeah. RIP and hello, hi and bye.
Yep.
I didn't know you existed, and
Right.
see ya.
Almost a short enough time you could just annul it rather than divorce it. But
Exactly. Doesn't have to go on your record. My family knows about that. So GameStop seems to be changing the way the stores look, and the store redesign may have been leaked. There was a video going around Facebook, is where I saw it.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
Of a store in Pryor, Oklahoma, and it looks very different from GameStops that you have been in up to now. They're kind of getting away from the glossy look, and they're going for a more matte, muted down gray color with some like faux wood paneling, trying to look a little bit more grown up, trying to have the aisles be a little cleaner instead of just looking like, to me, GameStops have, especially the ones by my house, have all looked like a 14-year-old's room. Like the hallways are really skinny.
Yeah.
You're kind of like brushing up against the games as you walk through. Then they have like cell phones over here. Then they have like action figures over here, and you got all this stuff, which I just think is awful and distracting. And the thing that's amazing about casinos is that they're usually in a circle, right? So like you never leave because you're like, where's the exit? You know what I'm saying? And it's just a circle. GameStop is like, get me out of here. Like, okay, let me go just right back out. I feel like that's how it's been.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always go into them just because I'm a gamer. I like being around it. Like I like if a conversation pops off or something like that. I love, talking to people about gaming. Here's the thing that I thought was interesting. I feel like, and I've talked about this on the show, and sometimes you guys go with me, sometimes you don't. But for me, it feels like they're trying to get back into the community a little bit more. And the reason I say that is because if this is, and we talked about GameStop a couple weeks ago and how, the guy from The Big Short or whatever had spent a bunch of money and owns a bunch of it and saying that he thinks that they're going to make a comeback.
Yep.
And it looks like they really want to start making areas to be able to do tournaments or demo games. It looks like in this store in Pryor, they have some table set out, which looks like you could do some tabletop gaming. They have CRT TVs set up with like old Xboxes and GameCubes and Nintendo 64s. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is what I said. This is months and months and months ago. What I wish GameStop would get back to is being a part of the community and inviting people in and playing and having there be a reason that you'd want to stay in there. And I feel like if you can capture somebody in a store, they just end up spending money.
Right.
And so I like this idea. I don't know how much it's going to work, but I love that they might be going back to this thing. What do you guys think?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm in. I think that's great. I think let's get the 14-year-old apartment out of the way. Let's clean line it a little bit and get people to come in and just start having conversations, because that helps so much.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm not huge on tournaments, but like if my local GameStop did like a Mario Kart tournament, I might go do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's cleaner and friendlier to people who may not be gamers but are going there to get something for someone else, whatever it takes to make them feel more comfortable when they come in, rather than the I want to get out of here as soon as possible feeling it's got right now.
Exactly. They do put an air freshener in there.
Seriously,
will be a good look.
You gotta get that swamp smell out of there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Because I think we all probably agree that brick and mortar is dying. However, I think there's a way for it to stay alive. It's got to give you something that you can't get anywhere else. Chris, would this get you to get back in some GameStops every now and then?
I think I'm a little bit different from you guys in that I don't really have much issue with going in GameStops now. Granted, I don't do it a ton. And I agree that this look that's in this video, the store itself looks better. I do agree with that. But like when I go in a GameStop, it's because I'm there for a specific reason. I get in there, I do my thing, and then I leave. I don't pay attention to the accoutrements, and I don't pay attention to all, what's on the wall. Like I couldn't even tell you what is on the wall of the GameStop down the street from me, because I just don't pay that much attention. Now,
but you know that there's not TVs and areas set up to go actually play games.
No,
even though there used to be 20 years ago.
That in particular really does nothing for me. I'm not going to go to a GameStop, just like I'm not going to go to a mom and pop store that has a thing in the back. All of us have been to one of those stores where it's like, oh, people play tabletop games, and that's great. I'm glad there's an avenue for people who love to do that. But how many times have I gone in there and there's been more than 3 people in there playing a tabletop game? I mean, when they have the tournaments is where they get, all the influx and all the excitement and everything like that. Like if I went into a GameStop and I went to a back area and there was a bunch of hype because, 7 people are like tag teaming on Street Fighter, then yeah, I would kind of buy into, well, hey, I'm going to go check out what's going on. I don't feel like that's what I'm going to end up finding when I do go into a GameStop. I hope that I'm wrong, especially for their sake, because, and for the people who love that kinds of things, none of this change necessarily changes anything for me, I guess is what I'm saying.
Got it. No.
It is what it is. I'm going to only go in there the few times that I need to for this reason or that reason, and that's probably going to be it.
Yeah, I think the thing that gets me is that, like, when I go, like, remember I told you I was trapped on a plane with a bunch of GameStop employees because they were coming to like GameStop Con in Nashville. So when I go into a Target or a Gap or a Walmart or I don't even an Old Navy, a Best Buy. Well, Best Buy's a little different. But when I go into the other ones, they're just working there to like get a little job right quick.
Yes.
I feel like the people that work at GameStop love the thing.
I will absolutely agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that.
And so I love that there could be a chance that the people that work there now get to be heading up. I think they'll find more pride in it when you're able to offer things to the community and they get back to being a community store. Now, it's not going to feel like a mom and pop store, but it feels like they had actual gamers working in a corporate environment that didn't appreciate the fact that they were actual gamers.
Yeah.
And so I hope that this turns things around for GameStop in the sense of where you're like, oh, like I wish we had a mom and pop store around me. Like we don't, I would much rather shop at a mom and pop than a GameStop, but this might get me more excited about going to the GameStop because now it just looks like it's set up more like even the register in this prior Oklahoma or wherever it is, the register set up like in the middle of the store. And so you can like kind of walk around it and it's not like just up against the wall where you can't get behind them. And so the whole thing feels like it's set up more to communicate with each other and talk and just talk about things. There's a couch in there, set up to a TV. I don't know. I like it. I mean, it's still GameStop. It's still corporate, but I think they've stepped in. If this is true, they've stepped into a direction that I think is really missing. That I've really missed.
Honestly, give them credit for actually kind of changing it up. I think they realize, hey, the current model that we've got is probably outdated and not really working. So let's change it up. I mean, we're still a brick and mortar. Let's see what we can do here. And I definitely applaud that effort. I think that's a good idea.
I don't know, man. I feel like GameStop's been at the forefront of changing it up. I feel like they've changed up a lot of different. Yeah, well, like I'm maybe not to this level. I will agree with that. But like they brought in all like, oh, we're gonna buy and sell used iPhones and iPads, and then they're like, oh, we bought ThinkGeek and we're gonna incorporate and be GameStop's also gonna be a ThinkGeek, and then I feel like they've tried a lot of things. To me, this is like their last grasp at trying to make it a thing.
Those steps that you're talking about always felt desperate to me. Like, oh, let's do cell phones now. Not like, hey, let's switch it up. We're doing cell phones. It's like, oh, we need some money. Let's buy and exchange cheap, electronics. And I never liked those. I'm like, you're a GameStop. Like,
I'm not
video
saying
games and
they were good
Doritos.
decisions. I'm just saying, I think GameStop's always been about trying something. That's how
I think they felt like they needed to stay relevant and to stay and honestly, I mean a lot of companies will do that. They'll see, hey, we're floundering here, we got to step it up, and it probably does come across as desperate, but it actually might help them their bottom line in the long run, and that gives them an opportunity to kind of reset, which I think is what they're doing. And in this case, we're really talking more about appearance versus what they fundamentally sell. I mean, they may still have the same stuff, but at least it looks cleaner, it looks neater, and I definitely think that that's a better step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. Christopher.
Yes.
What else you got, Dot?
So the Entertainment Software Association, also known as the ESA, is hoping to turn E3 2020 into a fan, media, and influencer festival. They would feature stuff kind of like they would also be implementing like a Disney Fast Pass style system for getting into lines and stuff. So basically you would go to a thing and be like, I want to play this game. So then you would put yourself in a line earlier, and you would come back at 2, and then like that should be your time slot to go ahead and go inside.
That's cool.
Which, just as a note, Sony did do that.
Yes.
One E3. I think it was the one we were all at.
We went to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
If they did it prior.
But it was just Sony though. It wasn't like
you're right.
E3 as a whole, but Sony had like little blocks of time where you could go, and I thought it worked pretty well for the times that you got. It wasn't like waiting in line for 4 hours, that's for sure.
That's true. It was a little, especially once you figured out how it works. Like that first day when we're like, oh, this is how it works. Like every time slot was taken. So I was like, all right, tomorrow morning, I'm getting up at 7. I'm logging into the Sony app and I'm trying to sign up for all these daggum things I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the other kind of proposals that they're doing is they want to try to make it more of like a something where fans can see stuff that they might not see in other places, similar to like, so some of the ideas that they've thrown out there is like paying influencers and celebrities and like sports figures to come and play games. And like, for instance, one of the things that they had mentioned was possibly have members of like the Los Angeles Lakers play a basketball video game in front of a bunch of fans, and then actors taking part in game tournaments and all these different kind of things. They also are adding 10,000 additional gamer badges to be open to the public. So that's now going to move the number of consumers that could potentially join the show at 25,000, which would potentially lead to an industry-only day on Tuesday before the public gains access, which would be Wednesday and Thursday.
Which, don't run over that, because that's an amazing thing to me.
Yes.
One of the things that I hated about taking you guys to E3 when we went is because they had already implemented the 15,000 regular tickets that you could buy.
Yes.
And so it made every day extremely crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we were in on industry badges. And so I would have loved to take you guys on a Tuesday when it was just the industry, because that was kind of E3 of old. So the reason I didn't want you to run over that is because, number one, they've always like had a Laker or somebody from the And One tour, or we saw Jack Black when we were there. They always have celebrities come out, but it's nice to hear that they're going to be putting them more in the forefront a little bit as entertainment, not as just like you might see Snoop Dogg walking around while he goes and plays Madden or 2K or something like that. But a Tuesday industry only day, I think would be amazing. Number one, I'm trying to go this next year, so hope maybe I can report on how all this is. But number two, I just love that because that'll feel a little bit like E3 of old. It's felt like the Wild Wild West ever since they implemented those 15,000.
Yeah. I mean, it was
tickets.
So packed when we were there, and the fact that they want to let in 10,000 more people. I'm like, well, you just made me never want to go again.
Yeah, exactly. Which in turn might hurt the Wednesday and Thursday. Tuesday will be the amazing day, and then but maybe Wednesday and Thursday might turn into really fan only, because industry, unless you're working, might not even bother going on Wednesday and Thursday.
That's true.
So it might turn E3 into a 2-day event where on Mondays you want to try to get into the press conferences, and then Tuesday you go to E3 the floor, and then Wednesday and Thursday you start heading home.
Yeah. I wouldn't
be
mad at that.
I'm very interested in this next year's 2020 E3, because I want to see do more press conference people bounce away, or do more come back, because now it wasn't really like a down year, so to speak, and they've got new hardware around the corner and other new things. Like, is it going to ramp back up? I'm very curious to see.
I think it's going to be an up year.
I hope so.
Man, my brain says both. One side of my brain says they're implementing 10,000 more tickets, so they're expecting it to be a down year. They're just trying to get people to come. Or it's saying, hey, this is about to be an amazing year. We want to try to get that good taste in everybody's mouth that comes out, and try to get as many people there. And we want to show that we're worth the publishers and all these guys paying the money to be here. Like, hey, we can provide now. When we went, there was 73,000 people. So that means this year will be like, say, 85,000 people. I don't know exactly what the number was. I just remember it being in the 70s when we went. But they can say, hey, look, Sony, look, Microsoft, look, all these people. We brought 85,000 people to take in your gaming. Right. And so, it says E3 2019 saw 66,000. So, yeah, somewhere around there. So,
but I mean, do you think that those people that are having press conferences there, because outside of the last 2 years, I guess, it being a bit different, they've always been just to people who have media badges. So, and I assume that was the way that it would stay. So Do you think
That
them
was
having
just the year we
20,000
went.
people or 80,000 people or whatever, do you think that matters when I'm just talking about strictly for having a press conference, not a presence. I understand having a presence like on the show floor, but I'm just talking about from a press conference standpoint, what's the incentive for people to be a part of E3 and not just do their own thing?
That was the weird thing for me. So the year we went, none of the press conferences were open to the public.
Yes.
Right.
The 3 other times I've gone, they always have been. And so I've always gone to the Sony press conference because they open it up to the public. And so I hope that they go back to that because the fevered pitch that you have, and that's what makes these React videos so amazing is because you hear the crowd like, ah, as you're watching the guy like, ah, or the gal,
right.
ah, about whatever game is coming out. And so I loved, when they were having it in the sports arena that Sony always did theirs. I mean, that thing was so full of people. There was thousands upon thousands of people in there, and the energy was just so amazing. I don't know. I loved the press conferences, and I hope that they're not as strict with them as they were these last 2 years. But real quick, Tim, I think too with Sony not showing anything new,
right?
That was kind of a reason they didn't have one. And then the year before that, they were like, we don't really have anything new, so we're just going to make this like little experience thing happen.
Yeah.
I feel like they haven't had a real press conference in 2 years.
That's why I think because there's new hardware around the corner for both Microsoft and Microsoft and Sony. I think that this could be the perfect time for Sony to come back, but at the same time, And even though I'm with you guys, like I was so bummed that I could not go see a Sony press conference. The one time that I made it to an E3, because that's what I've always wanted to do, was to see one of those press conferences live. But at the same time, it's like, man, I just can't. Even though I know it's cool to have all the different things happening in one location, my head just tells me it's a smarter play for these companies to bring back for Sony like a PSX and do your stuff there, and then an Xbox. They have something, I forget exactly what it's called. And then I guess, Nintendo's pretty much having great success with their direct stuff, or maybe everybody moving to a direct. We saw Sony kind of dabble with that a little bit this year too, and obviously Microsoft's got Inside Xbox as well. I mean, I think that there's absolutely a huge value in a actual thing that happens that people can go to.
Yeah.
And I would love to go to an E3 where that happens someday, where I can actually get in. But I feel like the best play for them to all is to have their own little things. And I wonder, so if that going to go back or not, because, Sony did away with PSX, or they didn't have it last year. Are they going to bring that back, or are they going to go back to E3? They got to do something. I feel like. I don't feel like they're just going to go the direct route.
Yeah. What's weird is that I feel like you can't beat. And I know that there's so much information coming out that it can probably get clouded, but it seems like you can't beat that many people tweeting and writing stories about you all at once. E3 still seems like the smart play to me, because now you're going to where everyone is instead of having your own thing, which is going to be, of course, smaller. It's going to be more focused on you. Yes. But like you get a blip when you do that.
Yeah.
You get talked about for like maybe 4 days. At E3, you have 4 days of things. And so it kind of like continually rolls over. And I know you're mixed in with a lot of other stuff, but I think it helps everybody that huge wheel is churning.
I agree it helps the industry. And I do agree that E3 being a longer, multi-day event or whatever possibly has more avenues to maybe be spoken about. But everybody is at E3. When they have a PSX, when they have a Xbox, whatever the heck it's called, it's all they're talking about is Sony. All they're talking about is Microsoft. And even if it's only a day or two versus like 3 or 4 days, that you're the only one being talked about. To me, I would be willing to bet, and that their numbers probably show, there's more value in you being the only one being talked about versus competing with everybody to be talked about for a couple of days. I bet their
Look how
numbers
many
are higher.
reaction videos came out of when they first dropped Last of Us 2 at PSX. Look, there were tons of them everywhere.
Yeah.
And it look, I get what I was going to say before on the press conference side. I understand as a business, you want as much media, as much PR there as possible. So the general consumer probably gets pushed out a little bit because that seat needs to be filled in with some sort of influencer who can go in there and then spread the word. So I kind of get that. Yeah, Gabe, I wish it was back to when, there was media there, but then there was also general public, but that would also include and need a bigger venue. And most of those companies like Ubisoft, they stay at that one theater, and Bethesda kind of moves around. And so it just means bigger budget. And I think a lot of them are just, hey, this is just here so we can give it to media and PR, and the general consumer is going to see it at some point, but that's just not our priority for these press conferences. But I do agree with you, Chris. I think if you go back to these are conferences and conventions just for us. Like, I want PSX back. I'm really bummed that wasn't that's not there anymore, because that's just such a huge avenue for PlayStation gamers to just all come together, and then that's all they're talking about. There isn't any other games that are distracting. It's all Sony all the time, and I would prefer that way better than anything else. Than like hey, there's a ton of people here. I'm being overloaded with all kinds of games from all kinds of developers.
I just like that when it's E3 season, you used to know everyone's going to have a presser. I'm going to find stuff out, where now they kind of have they have so many things now. It's like, oh wait, there was a Sony thing? I didn't even know.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
And so it's so easy to overlook them now, unless it's a big, huge part of an event, if it were.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm feeling is like, I loved going to the press conference. Hey, it's on the show floor. Then the next day you go play it. And so, and I've never been to a PSX, and maybe I know that there's sometimes something there that you can play. I don't know how long those events go, but I just think the recycling of information is just better for everybody, because you have Sony come out, they do their thing, and then it's like, who won the press conferences? Blah, and then you talk about that. And then it's E3 happens, who won the show floor? And then you talk about that. And so it's like you continually are breaking down all these things, and you're saying the name over and over and over again. And I just think it's a quicker blip when like Nintendo Direct happens. That happened, and then it was over. You know what I'm saying? I just think that
really
I like the monster of
Nintendo
E3.
Direct to like a PSX. Those really are not comparable, in my opinion. Because one's
just because you're not a Nintendo guy?
No, because one is just a little digital 20-minute little show that you watch, and there's nobody that can get hands-on with anything right there at a show floor, so to speak. Whereas PSX literally is E3, but only Sony. I mean, clearly it's on a smaller scale, and it's not 4 days. I think it's only 2 days. But so I mean, everything that's going on there is Sony, and people can actually get their hands on things that are there. They usually have more than just a couple of stations, as I understand it. I've never been to one myself. And again, I know Xbox has something. They have the inside Xbox stuff, which is only digital, but they did have some event as well. I don't know how much coverage it gets at that. So I don't think those are quite as comparable. And I agree, from like the selfish gamer standpoint, I'm with you guys. Like, I've always loved E3. It's like the gamer Christmas time, because you get a little bit of everything. But I feel like if the numbers held true, that from a value to their brand standpoint, these companies got tons and tons out of E3, they would still be there. The fact that they're not, or the fact that they're kind of pulling out, or some of them are, obviously not everybody is, tells me that they must not be getting as enough return on their investment as what they think they are.
Yep.
That's the only thing, because I mean, the only thing that these companies, the only language they speak is money. So if they don't feel like there's anything there to them, that must be why they're not there. That's why I think this year's going to be so interesting, because if Sony comes back and they're like, guess what, guys? We back. And here's presser, bam, up in your face. We on the floor and everything. Well, then you know, okay, it really was just because they had a down year and didn't really have anything to show. Or are they going to not show up again and then just be like, man, Sony really doesn't see any value in this. That's strange.
I think they're back this year, and I think they do a PSX.
You think both?
I hope
Interesting.
So. I think so. Yeah, because you got a new console coming, so everything's got to be all about Sony.
I think you have to put your foot all the way on the gas.
I agree.
I would love for them to be back. It's like what Ed said. Like, when you say like E3, you're like, oh yeah, and you're just chomping at the bit, and you can't wait to see all the things. But
Yeah, I'm at my heart. I love totally it all with you guys. It's like one of the biggest bummers to me that year that we went, that the pressers weren't open, because I was so wanting to go, and I want to experience that so bad. But I just,
you know what?
Like
I enjoyed
came and went.
I enjoyed sitting on the couch. I enjoyed sitting on the couch with you guys and watching them from afar, though, too. At the same time, I thought that it was just so cool. I mean, that's for me. Every E3, I take basically that Monday off. And Sunday we're watching Bethesda and Microsoft. Obviously it depends on the schedules, but man, Monday's like, all right, I'm just taking today off, and I get so excited as soon as that press conference starts. Like, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? This is awesome.
Sunday and Monday it turned into.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Oh, just talking about E3 makes me so happy.
Right? Good time.
Edward.
Yes, sir.
What you got for us, Bishop?
Over on YouTube, we've got Gears 5 Parts 3 and 4 over there, Wolfenstein Youngblood Part 5, and the first 4 parts of Borderlands 3, which comes to 20 hours.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And if you think about that, that's my character Zane, 20 hours worth. My character Flack that I'm playing offline with Sarah, I'm like 7 levels past this guy.
No way.
So we've put some time into this game.
Do you play faster off stream or slower?
I play slower off stream.
Wow.
Or, I'm sorry, I play slower on stream. But
because you take the time to loot more probably when you're off.
I do. Well, and when I'm off, because it's always co-op with Sarah.
You're not trying to explore every nook and cranny.
But it's also a lot of wrangling.
Yeah.
It's like, we're supposed to be over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, so when the two of you, are you guys kind of together as a unit, or does she go off somewhere and then you're off somewhere and then you guys kind of meet back in the middle?
It starts as one, ends up with the other, and then ends up with the original one. Yes.
Nice. All right, so it's all over the place, basically.
Yes. It's like, awesome. Wait, I'm being shot right now. Little help.
Hey, a little help here. Hello.
That's awesome.
Bandits, 12 o'clock. Let's go.
Free games go. Game Pass announced September 19th. Jump Force and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Jump Force
on September.
Oh, I'm getting that.
Jump Force.
September 26th. Bad North, Dirt Rally 2.0, and Lego Worlds will be available.
Ooh.
Jump Force. Is that what game?
Jump Force is that's the fighting game with Goku in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of Game Pass? Is that what you said?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Right?
I'm kind of interested in that game.
On.
There you go.
And I think right now you can get 3 months of Game Pass for $22, I think.
I feel like there's always some kind of deal with that going on.
I
shoot
know.
Me that deal, put it in the chat.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is because I think anybody who sees a deal on Game Pass right now should get it, because it'll last until at least Thanksgiving, where there'll be another deal and you'll roll into that one as well.
Yep.
And it's Game Pass Ultimate for $22. So I will be buying that as well. Because your boy not only love a demo, he love a deal.
There you go.
Thanks, Edward.
You're welcome.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you guys, sorry, what's the least amount of time you can have to get some gaming in? Can you game in 20 minutes? Or are you not sitting down unless you have an hour or more? Mm-hmm. Starting over on Twitter, we got at dspin67. Mm-hmm. I probably get an hour a week to game.
Oof.
Still studying for my CCNA. I'm in mid-grind. Any free time is doing labs or time with family. An hour a week. I feel your pain. I've been there. Pixel Sandwich at Birdfly Beard. Cause that makes,
Yep. As you would.
Yeah. I've got 3 kids and it never fails. Every time I find a little time to sit down to game, there's an update.
Oh, no.
Because of this, I need an hour minimum. I know that's right. Alex at Alex_KY87. Whatever I can get. It takes me 20 minutes just to start a game up. Let's see. Kids keep running up in my room like they own the place. Have to put them to bed like 10 times a night. Finally, when I lay down to play, my wife is like, "What are we watching?"
Yep.
And he has that "Oh, come on" from Liar Liar. It's like, "No, come on." He spits out that water. Over on Facebook, we got Steven Sabold. With 4 kids, a wife, job, freelancing, and more, I can do with 15 minutes. It's usually enough time to get a round of COD in, and that's enough time to put a smile on my face.
There you go.
That's a good way to look at it. Austin Phillips, 6 hours. Just kidding. I'm married. Like 45 minutes is prime.
There you go.
Robert Darrellgood Jr.
Oh, bring it on down now.
Come on now.
Down to Goodlettsville. He said, I can get about...
Bring it on down to Robertville.
He said, I can get about 5 or 10 minutes in on Fun Run, but generally, I want at least 30.
There you go.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Over on Discord, Shepdog, I probably won't sit down if I only have 20 minutes. I would say I need at least an hour. However, I'm perfectly okay booting up a game, doing one quest in 20 minutes, feeling like I accomplished something, and hopping into another game.
Oh.
So you don't want to just play for 20 minutes, but he'll play something for 20 before he hops into something else. That makes sense. Nathan Dugas, handheld starting with the PSP and going on through the Switch have made it possible to play pretty much anything for 5 minutes and put it down if needed, even if it's not ideal. Long games like Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, and the soon Witcher 3 for many people can be picked up and put down as much as needed, provided there is battery life. So it's much easier to whittle away at a quest without losing progress or having to restart. For non-portable play, it depends on how long it takes to get going. I'll rarely boot up my PS4 on a lunch break, but I'll turn on my PC and play a small bit of Destiny 2, even if it's just one Crucible match or some quick errands, provided I have 15 minutes or more. There you go. B-Dog 1221. 2 Rocket League matches is all I need.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gosh, I used to love Rocket League. Doggone it. Thank you guys so much for answering the questions. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games, Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, over on MarriedToTheGames.com, you can go back through all the backlog. 366 episodes worth there. Like Ed said, YouTube.com/Married to the Games. Now on Patreon at Patreon.com/MTTG. And we're going to crank up that Extra Life thing. extra-life.org/team/MTTG. And you want to support our boy, you'll see it on his Twitch channel, but Ed's going to be not doing Extra Life this year, but going to be doing Stack Up, I think it was called, for the veterans in November. So if you want to join him on that, you can check out his twitch.tv/Ed Placencia.
Thank you.
Holy crap. I feel like I just did a lot of talking.
That's right.
Oh, I got to say one thing, too, before we move on. They've been releasing new videos of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, they have.
It's got me thinking it's going to be good, and I'm trying to push it down.
It can't be good. It can't be.
It can't be. There's no way it's going to be good. That and Shenmue 3 are going to be terrible. All right. Tim.
Rate us on iTunes so we can all remember Tony Sowell this week. Gabe and Jenny, we love you. R.I.P. Tony.
Yes, rest in power, Tony Sowell. Goodness gracious.
That's it.
Well, let's get into some questions.
Discord, Lucas Ham Sandwich. So, there may be holidays, but let's change it up a bit. In the spirit of Borderlands 3 being the big game in the MTDG community and gaming right now, each of you make up a character class in your own version of Borderlands based off the person who talks before you. So to start, who will give the details, powers, and overall look of Router/Tiger Claw/fossilized old man character class?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to read that again,
Does
brother.
that make any sense to anybody? Because I'm reading it going, huh?
Wait a second.
Basically,
What now?
Lucas Ham, man, I love you, but these you got to really think questions late at night or early in the morning. Just don't.
That's right.
They ain't working, man.
So
Keep it
so
simple.
do this.
Like, do you like mayonnaise? You do.
We'll go around.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be like, you know what? I do like mayonnaise. Next question.
All right, go around. Do you have a character class for each of us?
Okay.
That's Borderlands based. Let's go. Let's just do that.
Okay, character class for each of us.
Yep. Who's got
All right.
what are the powers and overall look, if you got one?
I just want to be like who's like the gauntlet, the big guy.
tank.
Bunch of guns.
Yeah,
Tank.
you'll be a tank.
Yep,
Okay.
tank. Yep. And my power is some kind of force field.
Ed, you're a sniper.
I'm a
clearly.
sniper, and my power is I never ever miss.
Nice. That's a good
Ooh,
one.
Hawkeye.
Aimbot.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be like the commando-esque dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And instead of a turd, I'll have a tiger for a tiger claw that can go out
Ooh.
and like, kill dudes.
I like that. Chris, you gonna be an assassin or something?
Yeah, I want to be somebody
You
light
need
on their
to be.
feet that's sneaky and can sneak up on you when you're not paying
Yes.
attention.
Nice.
Do that.
And silently
Yes.
take you out.
Love
I
it.
like that. What about some cloaking for your power?
Yeah, man, I'm down with the cloaking.
Yeah, that's good.
I unfurl my cloaking cape and then I stab you.
I stab you.
I stab you.
You are dead
I
now.
like it. Good classes, everybody. Well done.
Yeah, that works.
Lucas, work on your questions. All right. At the wrong, what is the nicest thing you've done for someone or someone has done for you?
Ever?
Oh, everybody's still stuck on that? Okay, sorry. I do that out of love, Lucas. You know I love you, dude.
I mean, you chose
really
to
good.
read it.
I did. I did. But I didn't read it thoroughly. I basically was like, "Oh, Lucas, it's a long one. I'll just read it online
Yeah,
on
exactly.
air. It'll be fine."
Good show prep.
Yep.
What was the question? Oh, nicest thing somebody's done?
What is the nicest thing you've done for someone or someone has done for you?
My wife gave me 3 babies. That's pretty
Hey.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
That she's done for me. Thanks, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Boots. Her birthday's tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. It is.
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. She'll be 8 years old. Oh, Lord.
That's
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
Yeah. She attitude of a 15-year-old. Chris?
Yeah.
Hey, Gabe, there's 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate for only $22. You want to hook me up? No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, my head went to the same place that you did, but slightly different. I was going to say Stacy gave me her hand in marriage, and her parents.
Yes, that's right.
That's
Yes, you
probably the
did.
best thing that's ever happened to me. I mean, I can't think of anything better.
Yep, she's awesome. What you got, Ed?
Sarah's a given.
Yes.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Today, Josh Stapleton
Oh gosh, that one. He's in the running up there with Sarah.
Hit up his friend and said, "Hey, what's your Amazon info?" And took that info so he could use a free Amazon Twitch Prime sub and gave it to me. The dude is like
nice.
hitting up other people.
That's amazing.
So nice.
That's
Come
cool.
on.
Isn't that awesome? Doggone it. And then he showed up today and did it again, didn't he?
Today's when he did it, but he's been using Brett T. Bowden's, and he has 2 Josh Stapleton accounts that he uses.
Oh, that's awesome.
So just Stapletons in general. I'll just say that.
I know that's
There you
right.
go.
Jeez
Yeah,
Louise.
that's good.
What about you there, Router?
Yeah, I'm with you on all this. Lauren, almost 21 years of marriage and a beautiful 7-year-old. So I'm all in. I'm happy.
There you go.
That's good stuff. All right, Mal Corvus, in your opinion, what is the worst video game character ever made other than Symmetra? Yes.
That's pretty good.
Worst video game
Shoot. Worst? That's a good question. I don't like Wario,
No?
honestly. No, he don't make much sense to me. Like, he felt like they just needed a bad guy, and they were like, "Oh, we'll do like Berserker Superman, and just he'll be Wario instead of Mario, and he'll be like," but like he just doesn't, and he feels a little bit too much like Dr. Eggman to me. So
right.
it feels like a bite off of Sonic, and at the same time not eclipsing Bowser. And so, yeah, I don't like Wario. I don't know if he's the worst ever, but like off the top of my head. I've never been a huge fan.
I mean, you can kind of just couple him with Waluigi.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're basically the same thing.
Yep.
I know. It's just somebody not caring.
Yeah.
What say you, Edward?
If I can't say Symmetra, I'm going Torbjorn.
Oh, really?
Oh, you don't like the Torb?
Yeah.
You guys don't like Toby?
No, man.
Toblerone?
It's just another
Ready
character
to
who
work.
has something else with perfect aim doing the shooting for him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Get outta here.
I actually
Yeah.
don't like mind Torbjorn that much.
If you can't play video games that well, go play Minecraft. I'll see you later.
I mean, to add to that, though, I can't stand a Bastion either. I think that cheeses it
What?
up. Cheeses it up
You're not
quite
gonna
a
like
bit.
the new event.
Well, no, I'm on it. No, trust me, I'm all over it. But I don't. I played Bastion at the start because it was pretty easy to work with, and
Okay.
since I refuse to play him now.
Yeah.
And so anytime somebody does have a Bastion, I immediately go after him.
Yep.
I'm like, get this guy out of here because
He can be
it's just-
cheesy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is. It's like he could stay in a corner and just with that, just go to town, and he gets play of the game and like just gets all kinds of stuff. And it's like, no. Let's get rid of that.
I love that
Yeah.
too. I love hearing you so passionate about Overwatch, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
Yep. To the point where I'm giving it a rest because it's driving me insane. People leaving me and my team and stuff. Oh, give me a break.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lord Zukor. I may have partially stolen this from Lucas Ham Sandwich, but I'm not sure. You have the opportunity to go back in time and erase one idea from existence so that it never comes to pass. What do you choose? I would erase the idea of HOAs.
Oh, my gosh.
I guess you
Homeowners
don't.
associations?
Yes, I guess you don't need a pool or your lawn mowed or like the whole development taken care of. Then, brother, come on, man.
That
You got to
is
throw a little bone
funny.
there. That's good though. I love that.
One idea.
One idea from existence so that it never comes to pass.
Man, mine is so broad. I don't have a good one yet. Ed, you have one?
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Was that George? Was that George's idea, you think?
That was probably
Had to
all
have been.
George. Yes.
He
of course
defended it
was.
so much, it had to have been his.
What are you
Yeah.
doing, George?
Yep.
Chris?
Wow. That's hard.
Yeah, that's a tough one, right?
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah, that's tough, boy.
That is tough.
I don't know on this one.
One idea?
One idea from go back in time and erase one idea from existence.
Uh,
so that it never comes to pass.
Gluten? Is that a thing? Did we
All right,
did we make
on
that?
that line? Screw kale. Bye, kale. You're
No,
out of here.
Is gluten have to be in that? Have to be in there?
It's just a thing that exists. It's not something
Yeah.
to put in there.
I don't think it was
So
an
it-
idea. I think it's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
No, that's not an idea.
MSG?
There you go.
Was that created or is that in there already?
I wasn't even thinking the food line, but heck, I'll throw back to last week sushi.
Bye.
That's an entire culture you just wiped out, brother. There you go. Well done.
No, they've got other things. They can light a stove.
They're on island. That's pretty much what they got.
Oh shoot, that's funny.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they can wake me up. That's it.
I don't think they have a landlubber special usually in
my
Japan.
Gosh, that's funny.
I'm going to say cinnamon Pop Tarts just to fire up the Discord again.
Oh no! Don't you dare get out of there.
Kabowski's your best friend now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's right.
He's over there. His hands are in the air. Fist
That
pumping.
is so
Yes.
funny.
I'm gonna say it's not an idea though. Shoot. You know, the whole world is flat thing is coming back.
Oh,
like some people keep talking about that. Can we just erase that immediately and call them idiots? Can we do that?
I know someone who's a flat earther, and
No.
it is
Like
Me too.
All right, gone.
so
That's my idea. Gone.
it's so hard to just not just tear into him every time I see him.
And I know one too.
We have the proof, people. We have
And I'm
the
like,
proof.
I've flown with you across this world before.
No, you didn't,
Oh.
Gabe. It's a plan by all the pilots.
Jeez. All right, that's my definitely. Yep.
Oh, I went on a binge one day. I was like, all right, no, well, I'm figuring this thing out. And I couldn't even get there in my imagination.
Nope.
Good heavens.
No chance. We got everybody? Did
Yeah.
everybody go? All right, Calm Fury. What's your favorite game you didn't play until at least 6 months after the original launch date? I didn't pick up Witcher 3 when it came out in May of 2015, instead waiting until it was on sale during the holidays. It's now my favorite game of all time, and I couldn't agree more, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I picked up The Witcher late. What else did I picked up something else late that I was like, oh, why did I wait? Shoot. What was it? Chris, you have one?
I was late to the Runner series because
Okay.
I wanted to play it on Vita. I was like, that game looks like it could be interesting, but I hadn't
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
played the more 8-bit style version of Runner 1 and everything. But I feel like there's at least one other game. I'm kind of like you, where it's like there's some game that I was like, oh, I should give that a try. And then when I did, I was like, oh my gosh, why did I wait so long? I'm trying to think of what the heck it was.
Oh, I waited a long time on Detroit.
I was going to say, wasn't it Detroit?
I didn't play Detroit right away, and I should have, because I loved it. Ed, you have one? You play things pretty quick.
Well, just because I was so late to the Sony side of things, Second Son, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
Lord have
me
mercy.
as Spider-Man, because that came out in September. I just played it this
Yes.
past summer.
Gosh.
So,
And Overwatch.
Yeah.
well, that's what, 2 years late to the party?
Yeah, it's pretty late.
A little bit. Just a little bit. All right, Beefmaster Serta, if you had the ability to attend any music or sporting event in the past, what would you go back to be a part of?
Any music or what event?
Music or sporting
Sporting
event.
I would love to have seen Mike Jackson at his height. I would definitely
Thinking
go.
Thriller height or like off the wall height?
I'm thinking Bad, probably.
Ooh, really?
Like right before Dangerous. Like Dangerous, I feel like is when it like he started looking real crazy, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, Mike. Like we love you and everything, but I'm gonna need you to take that mask off. So yeah, I would say Michael Jackson Bad era. Chris?
Music, I would like to have seen a concert from Metallica during the Justice for All tour.
Oh,
And sporting event, because I'm going to say two of them. I would have liked to have gone to any of the 3 Cowboys Super Bowls wins.
When
in
was
the
that?
90s.
There you go.
Yeah, long
Yeah,
time
90s.
ago.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
that's the Troy Aikman era.
Yes.
Hey, you guys are 2-0 though.
Yeah, but we didn't play nobody.
We should be 2-0.
Yeah,
But whatever.
I don't want to talk
I mean,
about
I'm
it.
not throwing shade.
No.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
feel
all
you.
good.
I feel you.
Yep.
Ed?
I'll say the Beatles at the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Ooh, that's a good one, buddy.
The Beatles.
Yep. That's good. I would have loved to have been to the 1980 Olympics when the U.S. beat Russia in hockey.
Oh,
that,
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
that event, like people still talk about that, and it's pretty amazing. I think that would have been,
And that was a
really
time
cool.
with us and them, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very heated time. So
Yeah, that's
Really good
kinda
question.
like nowadays.
Exactly.
yep. Facebook, Travis Pospisil, do you have any real life phobias that give you the chills when you come across them in video games?
Edward?
Sharks, man.
Daddy Shark, do 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 do.
Anytime.
Daddy Shark.
There's any kind of water in games now. I'm like, oh crap.
That is so funny. I think it's hilarious that translates into video games.
I know, right?
It doesn't help that video games are, looking realer and realer, but
Tell me, and it's funny now because people they know my phobia of sharks and will like tweet pictures of them at me.
Oh.
And it's funny
That's just
because then
cruel.
they don't realize they get blocked.
Oh, that's awesome. I told Piper to stop sending you those. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry
I
about
will
that.
not hesitate. You think it's funny? I will not hesitate to block a fool that sends me a shark video.
Oh, that's amazing.
So you are for real scared of sharks for real. It is not an act.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I hate them.
Wait, and you don't go in the water at the beach, do you?
I do, but as soon as my mind starts to wander and think about
Yeah, then
sharks,
you're
I'm
out.
out.
Oh.
Then you're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Chris?
Totally valid, man. It's fine.
I don't have any phobias that may manifest in a game that gives me actual chills or anything similar to like what Ed's talking about. But something that I don't like, and everybody thinks this is the weirdest thing, and I'll even admit it's weird, but I don't like it. I don't like the sound of heartbeats. So anytime heartbeats are in a game,
Really?
it grosses me out. I don't like literally
Really?
hearing it. Yeah,
Interesting.
in a movie, in a song, in a game, doesn't matter. If I hear like
None
there's
of
this
it.
one YouTube guy I found, and I've actually really like his videos. He's a photographer, but his intro is this heartbeat going dunk dunk. Dunk. I'm like, oh, I skip it every time. I can't. I don't.
Oh,
it's
that's
really?
crazy,
gross
dude.
sounding.
That's
to me.
interesting.
Because when I hear it, I can see it like pumping. It's like, oh no, it's just gross.
So it's not a scary sound. It's a gross
No,
sound.
yeah,
for you.
it grosses me out.
Interesting.
I don't really have anything that kind of transcends into video games either. I'm trying to think of just anything like.
Yeah, I don't have one. The closest thing I have is like in Apex, when you jump from really high, it can still get my stomach like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like,
that will
it's not a
actually happen
phobia,
to me
but-
as well. I do you think of that as like a phobia for you, Gabe?
No, it's not. No, it's not really a phobia. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think of that's the most thing that like, ooh, weirds me out a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I can feel myself.
I
I
guess
feel like I
hadn't
can feel
thought-
myself jumping like that.
I hadn't thought of it. That actually will get to me too at times, where my stomach feels like I'm doing something, actually jumping.
Yeah.
So the zero gravity like quick play games, the Overwatch arcade, you're kind of like, woo.
No, it's not the
Well,
zero
there's no
gravity, it's the
speed
jumping
to
from
that.
from a high area and falling all the way down.
Oh, falling
Yeah,
down,
and they
okay.
kind of have like the speeding up of the wind sound. It's like, vroom, and you like when you land.
Got it.
So I think it's just kind of,
That's cool.
get your boy every now and then.
There you go. Nick Huntress, what video game soundtrack do you always enjoy listening to? What does it evoke when you hear it? Nostalgia, joy, excitement,
Oh.
etc.
Beat Saber.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll listen to that in the
Nice.
car with the family because everybody fell so in love with that game that I can play it for everybody and
Oh,
everybody's
that's cool.
having a good time. What about you, Tim?
I don't really listen to a whole lot of soundtracks, but the loading of The Last of Us, the first one.
I don't even remember what that
obviously.
sounds like.
It's
It's
you got the
the
curtains, and it's just that guitar tone.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just- it just brings me back to playing that game for the first time and just all the emotions that came out of it. It was awesome.
That is great.
Yep.
What say you there, Edward?
My first answer was Beat Saber, Gabe. But since you said that one, I'm going to say now that they finally released Red Dead Redemption 2, it just that story
is that a good
was
one?
So moving, and the soundtrack is just so haunting. Really like that one.
Sick.
You're
Yeah.
saying they only just released the soundtrack for that?
They released like a couple songs here and there, but it didn't have like a full-on soundtrack until just a couple of weeks ago.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Chris, you have one?
Yes. I mean, I think I'm a little bit different than you guys. I listen to a lot of different game soundtracks, but probably the one that I've listened to the most, and because I think it works really well for like working out and things like that, is the Runner 2 soundtrack, specifically Runner 2.
Oh, wow.
I like it even better than Runner 1 and even better than Runner 3. Oddly enough, it's a really great soundtrack for running. But I've listened to the soundtrack for, same as Tim, The Last of Us. I've listened to several of the songs.
really
off
good.
of, The Phantom Pain, God of War. I actually really liked the soundtrack. They actually had multiples of them, but the soundtracks, I should say, for Far Cry 5, I really liked that soundtrack.
Oh,
and I would
nice.
listen
Yeah.
to the soundtrack for Apex Legends occasionally. That little intro gets me pumped. So I listen to a lot of
That's
gaming
really
cool.
soundtracks.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. I've mentioned it before, but any of those Tony Hawks back in the day, I could listen to those soundtracks all the time.
Yep.
Nice. Good question. Josh Stapleton, what's a home improvement that you have enjoyed doing, and what's one you loathe?
Enjoy. I do so many, like I don't enjoy any of them anymore.
Right, exactly.
I had fun, if that's a word. Kind of working out this sprinkler system that I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
Like just kind of placing them and turning them all on and like finding the dry spots, and then you like pick one up and you're trying to dodge the sprinkler, and then like a bar's looking out the window and then one would get me and I'd be like, ow! And then I'd like run around, I'm soaking wet, and
That's awesome.
and then I would go, place it over here, and then you're like step back and kind of look at it and see, okay, they're overlapping a little bit here, okay, there's no dry spots, and then you're like, oh no, there's a dry spot, and you like pick one up and it's spraying you in the chest, and
Yep.
so that was kind of fun.
That's awesome.
I loathe painting because it always sounds like a great idea until you're really into it, and then you're like, dog, I freaking hate this.
Yep.
Yeah, so painting. Ed?
I'm the opposite. Painting is my favorite.
It is. Come paint my house.
I just put on an audio book or a podcast and just
Yeah, man.
Oh,
chill.
I'm with you on that too.
Loathe
I do like it.
when I know the gutters need to get cleaned out. Ugh.
that's when you call
that's not
somebody, baby. I'll
terrible.
be on Nashville Craigslist under services.
Right.
Yep. Yeah,
Chris?
I like.
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead, Tip.
I was gonna say, Ed, I'm kind of with you. I like painting. I don't like doing all the taping first. I think that's just.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
But
We
it's
don't
all
tape.
it's all part of it. But yeah, I tape, and then what I loathe, man. If I have to do yard work in the summer, I'm like miserable. Fortunately, I don't have to do it a whole lot anymore. But at the same time, when there's just stuff you got to pick up and haul, and you're just like, oh, this is.
Yeah, I hired a guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Chris?
I to kind of reiterate, like I don't think any of it's fun. I don't like any of it. But I will say that yard work in general, at least when I'm done with it, I do feel like, all right, things look a lot better. I like that. That looks really good. I'm happy with the results, not necessarily the doing it. Whatever the time of year, I'm fine doing that and get the result that I get from it. I am absolutely 100% with Gabe. I do not like painting in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to do it. I will pay a person to do it if I need to. Luckily Stacy likes to do it. I'm not even good at it. I get paint on things I don't know how it happened. I just can't stand it. It's the worst thing in the
Amen.
world.
Me too.
It's easy to do, brother. It's easy to do.
I get paint on the back of my head.
Exactly. Like, how does that happen? It doesn't make any sense. I hate
Totally
it.
agree.
I cannot stand it.
I love it.
That's funny.
Joseph Grimm, since the four of you have multiple consoles, do you keep PS Plus and Xbox Live current or let one or the other lapse?
Current for me.
Yeah, I'm current, even though I don't use the Xbox Live one, but I mean, because of the Game Pass Ultimate thing nowadays, I'll have it the whole time. Chris, I know you let the Game Pass Pass lapse, right?
Well, yeah. Well,
I mean the online.
Yeah. I let Xbox Live Gold bounce until I needed something comes up that I want to do it. And I did have a subscription to Game Pass. Last year I got it on a deal, and when it ran out, there wasn't a deal present. But I just found out about this good deal for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And I'm planning to grab that.
Yeah. Oh, tell us
'cause
about
I do
it.
want to play. I do want to play. I want to try Gears of War, and I do want to try this Jump Force or whatever.
I'm
really wanna
downloading
jump
both
into
of
that and
them
Give it a shot. Yeah. So
as we talk. What about
my
you there, Timothy?
Oh, well, you all know my Xbox Live is super current right now. Like 2 years ago, super current. No, I'm,
like when
I'm
you bought
PS
it.
Plus all the exactly PS Plus all the way. And when Xbox expired after I got my Xbox One, that's where it lay. So
And I do
yeah,
I do the Nintendo one too. I have that one going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yep.
That's $20 a year though, so that almost doesn't count.
But
of
definitely
all of them,
do
that's
something-
The easiest one, the one that just kind of
Yeah.
makes the most sense, even if you're not.
I mean,
even
I
using
say
it.
there is value whichever console you
Absolutely.
play. There's definitely value in either of those or all of those. So get you something. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think that's
Yep.
At Dopalicious, final question. In Borderlands, you have to fight for your life. Please explain if confused. Have you ever had to fight for something? Relationship, family, beliefs, work? Been in counseling for a few years to fight through various issues, and wife and I are significantly better for it. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, good for you getting some help. I was telling my brother the other day that I feel like as a man, the bravest thing you can say is, I don't know, because we usually like to have the answers. And so when you say, I don't know, or help, as a man, I think that shows strength more than it shows weakness. So
I would take it a step further and say, I'm sorry.
That's another hard one.
I think that takes a lot too, just because you know what?
I was wrong. Yeah.
Like, true, Lauren and I have had issues like that, and the one thing she said is, if you just said you were sorry, it would have made it 10 times better.
Right.
And you totally forget to do that sometimes because you're caught up in it, and you're too busy trying to either defend yourself or just, state your case for the situation. And you just, in the end, you forget to just say, babe, I'm sorry.
Yep. Let's see. What I had to fight for. I have to fight my flat earth friend about it being the earth being round.
You better beat that flat earth friend.
I guess for me, and I think Ed can speak to this too, like coming from nothing on this voiceover thing, like not knowing anybody and just me and Ed, like just making up demos. Well, Ed was ahead of me because he had done radio and stuff, but I feel like me and him, he was doing the classes out in California. Like, I feel like we fought for that. It fought to do that. It's not a popular job. It's not something that people have even heard of most of the time when I talk about it. And so I'll say fighting for the VO thing, fighting to have that part of my life. I still thoroughly enjoy it. And I feel blessed that I get to do it sometimes. I get to audition all the time.
Exactly. So blessed I get to practice so much.
Right.
All it takes is one, man. All it takes is one.
No, we're still looking for that one that's just undeniably amazing.
There you go. Yep.
I've done a bunch that suck, but
this bench is super warm, coach.
Yeah. Put me in, coach. I promise I can do it. I can read. Chris, what you got to fight for, buddy?
I have to fight for the ability to stay creative. Because outside of, everybody kind of will doubt themselves occasionally and, wonder like, oh, is this any good? Or can I do that? Or am I any good at doing XYZ task? Everybody will struggle with that at some point, but man, it's so easy for me to just be like, man, I'm spinning my wheels and I need to be more level-headed about the XYZ and I need to be more practical and blah, blah, blah. And it's so easy for me to just push it away. But because it's where I enjoy myself the most, I have to really I have to fight my own head and be like, look, yes, you need to be practical. Yes, you need to do the things you need to do and take care of things and handle your business. But at the same time, it's like, this is part of what helps keep you sane and you need to do that.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. What'd you say, Ed?
Because I know what it's like to go through a difficult time and be a guy and not talk about it. Because I've been there. I have to fight to maintain friendships sometimes. Just as far as like, what's up? How are you? I know I know you haven't heard from me for a while, but just know I'm thinking about you. Everything man. Good. Do you need anything off your chest? And that's not fighting, but sometimes when you're on the other side,
when it doesn't come natural, it is.
Yeah, it's fighting.
And especially if you're on the other side, it's a fight to reply. And sometimes all that person needs is that opportunity to fight. And maybe they don't take it, but I want to make sure that I can give that opportunity if I can.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh no, I was just gonna say I gotta say thanks to Ed. Ed's been checking in on us this week, man. So I appreciate your fight because I've needed some of those text messages to pull me out of a dark place.
Yeah, man. I appreciate your fighting.
Seriously, man.
I'm self-employed, so I have to fight for everything. Like,
interesting.
Every month, man, I have to make sure that I'm staying
Show your
relevant,
worth.
that I am not being complacent because a competitor can come along and just take a work from under me. And so I always want to make sure that, I keep that iron sharp and keep things going. And I am blessed though, because I have a good network of people, and most of my clients are repeat clients anyway, so they know how I work, and I've been working with them for 10 plus years. But you never know. You never know when somebody could come in and be like, hey, this guy's either better or, hey, let's try this. And so I'm constantly just fighting to stay ahead of them and stay ahead of the game.
There you go.
So, yep.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Great questions all around. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Even you, Lucas Ham. We still love you.
Thanks, most of you.
I love it. He gives us and me a ton of ribbing. I can give it back. So
That's right.
Good.
That's right.
It's all done in love, man. I love you. It's awesome.
Well, every week we ask you guys. I'm just kidding. The question of the week for you guys is, we were gonna get into a little bit of it, but we skipped over it. But one of the stories that came out from this last week is that the creator of Smash Brothers, I don't know how to say his name, Masahiro Sakurai. Anyway, he has said that they will never add non-video game characters like a Goku or an Iron Man to Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers has to be video game characters.
Okay.
And so in that vein, I wanted to ask, what character of any sort would you like to see in a fighting game? A fighting game. What characters would you like to see in a fighting game? We've gotten a little bit of, Sony tried to do the Smash Brothers thing. I think it was called PlayStation All-Stars or something like that. And they kind of put Nate Drake and I think Kratos and some other people in there. Sackboy. I don't remember the full. I didn't play it, but I played it right when it came out, but I didn't pay much attention to it after that. So do you guys have any characters off the top of your head you could think that would be kind of dope in a fighting game? Tim?
Geralt.
Ooh.
I should say. Witcher, yeah, because I think you could give him at least one or two of his powers along with the fighting aspect of it, and that would be, he would honestly fit in a Mortal Kombat situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he'd be a sword guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like that's a really good one. Geralt of, what's it, Riveria?
Geralt of Rivia. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop there because I'm going to stop there. Stop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm done. Geralt of
Exactly. I don't know.
Riviera. Geralt of Rivia.
So you're just asking for any character from anything?
Yeah.
To be part of a fighting game?
Or just from video games?
Yeah. No, because the Smash Brothers was saying that they'll only put in people from video games. So it can be from a video game, but it can be I'm saying from anything.
Okay.
Since they're saying they wouldn't add Goku or Iron Man because they didn't come from video games. They came from comic books and cartoons.
Yeah. So
who would you like to see in a fighting game?
If we're saying, so I'm going to go with, and my head goes here because I think horror characters would make good fighting game characters. So I'm going to say Pennywise from It.
Ooh.
He would be an awesome cameo or character playing like a Mortal Kombat.
Doggone it. You guys have great answers.
That's a good answer, Chris. I like that.
Yeah, that's
His
a really
balloon
good
could,
answer.
Do something cool.
Yeah. What say you, Ed?
I'll go with Delson Rowe from Second Son.
Doggone it. You guys suck.
Nice.
Shoot.
And technically, you can have
answers.
two characters because you can have the good and the bad.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
See which aura you're going with.
Yep.
This is gonna be a weird one, but only because I think they've done it well enough with Mario, even though I don't know any Mario mains. But I think Mickey Mouse could be a good, good enough fighting game. And I think there'd be a lot of stuff that he could pull from. You know, he could sick Pluto on you or something like that, and have a lot of tumbling attacks. Yeah, get a bunch of brooms attacking you. Yeah, it could be Wizard Mickey. Yeah, have his wand. Yeah, I think Mickey could tear it up.
I like that.
Nice.
There you go. So let us know what character, doesn't have to be from video games, but what character would you love to see in a fighting game? And we will talk about it next week.
We're gonna get some good answers.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Yep.
We are. We're gonna. I might read more than usual.
Nice.
Yeah, go for it.
Love it. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Yeah!